from Amazon. This is not a major item. This is impulse purchase. An impulse purchase. This one's probably a regrettable impulse purchase. So I've got this MT3 profile designed by Matt something or other from Drop. The Dasher profile. Kind of the reason I got it because it's in Carolina blue and Duke blue. These two places have associations for me. This keycap, as you can see, also comes in Carolina blue, Duke blue. What's the point of even considering moving from one to the other? The reasons, for one thing, I think these are also ABS, and I believe they came in, apparently they came in 4 heights only. 1, 2, these two might be the same. These two are the same, but they're reversed, so they're different that way. So 1, 2, 3, and I think these two are essentially the same. I'll have to measure it to be sure. If these two are the same, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 heights. If these two are different, there's 5 heights. Kind of like, so I'm gonna pop this one off. Reduce the elevation on this. As you can see clearly, that is similar to that, but quite different from this. Unlike this SA profile, this one is extremely high, and this one is definitely lower. These two are clearly of different heights. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heights. If this is different, that's 6 different heights. That's the Matt3, and if it's a simple height difference, it could explain why this MT3 Dasher, or MT3 Drop MT3 profiles in general, may explain why they are so extremely expensive. So what I'm going to do now is I will try measuring and replacing. And this thing might be running out of batteries. Yep, as you can see, it's running out of batteries. So I'm gonna It's a 2032, 2.8 volts out of 3, so that battery's dead. Not dead, but it's replaced with another Toshiba 2033 expiration date. And zero right here. So this new SA keycap, 1.7 grams. Highest point is 14.64 millimeter height. The width of 1.29, 1.21, 1.12, 1.14, 1.25 at the thickest. So these are not the thinnest keycaps. .7 versus MT 2.1. So these Matt 1.3, very thick. 1.35, 1. So these are very thick, high quality keycaps. So I may regret replacing with these thinner ones. Not as tall as the Dasher keycaps. May want to go back to these. These are 1.4. These are quite a bit taller and not the same quality. Appear to be ABS, but to a substantially lower quality than the dasher keycaps. I'd say by a millimeter at least at the far back. 16.14, 14.96. So over a millimeter difference in height. The surface on the dashers are a little bit matte, whereas these are much more glossy. So it's just bespeaks kind of a lower quality. So the question is, the extreme quality of these MT3 profile, like signature plastics quality, is it necessary? Is it necessary to be such high quality? It's probably not necessary. So here, the MT3 did not come with an appropriate one. This is a delete. There might be an appropriate delete on this set. Yep, there is one. There's a lower delete. And this one is a page down or end. Actually, it's end, not page down. And this home key. One of the good things about it is that it comes in a full set. There's no missing keys here. Divide, multiply, minus. I'm curious about the heights on this row. 14.01 compared to 16, yeah. Let's compare that to Numlock. 14.02. It's actually higher. That's a bit different, isn't it? Numlock is higher. 14.64 versus 14.18. So the divisor, similarly, 14.55. Multiplication, 14.55. Minus these are Faker Holy Pandas. They're still quite pricey. So the height on the back of the 7 row is 11.5. 11.5 at the back, 10.45 front, 12.18 back, 10.5. So interestingly, the 7 row seems to be actually taller here. These two, are they similar? 11.13, 11.3. Yeah, again, these are taller. It definitely has a taller back than front, which is a good sign. You'd think would be the midpoint, so you should think the front and back should be similar. 10.84, 10.6. It's a little bit lower. So there was some thought that went into it. So here's 1, 2, 3. So now compare these. Look how dramatically the MT3s are shaped. The height on the 1309, massive, whereas this one 11.93. 10.54. Yeah, it definitely rises. They're not the same. The 3, the bottom definitely rises. thing comes off again. I do have some extra of these faker pandas, but I'm not sure where they are. And this is low in the front, 9.59, way high in the back, 1302. Dot and 0. Oh, here it is. So the one thing about this set is that I've got every number, unlike with the stingy MT3 kit, which had multiple missing keys. Rise back here, 13.19. At the edge is 10 point something something. Whereas this one, look how flat that is. 10.2, 10.5. There's a little bit of a rise at the back, but not that significant. And then this 0, yeah, these zeros are equivalent. A disappointingly low rise 0. Now the arrow keys. $13.16 at the back, 9.88 at the front. So very high. I suspect we're not going to get the same quality here. So the up downs here are not arrows, but arrows are much more elegant than the letterings. 13.13 at the back, whereas this one 12.1. So it's somewhat respectable. It's not horrific, at least. Backspace. So at that row, we're at 14.48. Is it the same here? 14.15, a little bit different. 11.33. Is it going to be this one? Looks like it. And the backspace, is it going to, yeah, it's going to be this one. 11.3, 11.9, yep, it's higher. 14.45, 14. Yeah, it's all higher. Interesting. Backspace here, squiggles, and tab here. Next, we'll do all the numbers now. Let's compare these two squiggles. Are two squiggles here? Are they the same? They're not. No, they're the same. It's like an extra squiggle included. Let's compare the heights on these two. Very equivalent. Very equivalent. It's just that the even the thickness are equivalent. I think it's the weight that's going to be the difference. The higher quality plastic on the MT3s is 2.4 versus 2.2. Just the slightest of difference. Interesting. And if you compare the heights, they are very, very similar. Very interesting. These are the same height. 14.8, 14.9, 14.9, 14.8. And roughly, these are the same, essentially. Let's go for the alphas. With frequent use, the kind of maddiness of the MT3 keycaps have gotten kind of glossy too. They've kind of glossed with use. 11.3 ABS plastic. Normally not seen as the highest quality of plastic, but it all depends on the density of it. And the densities of these drop ones are quite high, making them quite high quality. So you can cut costs in a variety of ways in keycap manufacturing, which is, I think, how this Chinese brand, what they call themselves, Day Keycaps, D-A-Y-E, they recouped their costs. This set, taxed and shipped, was about 51 bucks. These were like 10, 11.27, 11.25 at the back, whereas these are at the back. 12.2, 12.2. At the front, 10.75, 10.65. Again, these are these SA day keycaps are quite a bit, or a little bit, appreciably, measurably taller at row 3 from the top. What can you conclude about that? That they're not, as far as height, they're not inferior, just different. The heights are different from the MT3. They lose out in height at the top row here by quite a bit, but the remainder of the keycaps are not lower, if anything. So it's like a different ergonomics. The ergonomics are different, not inferior. So the typing experience should be somewhat different as well. Not an inferior typing experience, just a different typing experience, perhaps. The one thing that's clear is that the keycaps on the MT3 are, without a doubt, thicker and heavier. Heavier and thicker. Sturdier, of a higher build quality. Of that, there's no doubt. These Matt3o MT3 dasher keycaps are of a higher quality when the keycaps are seen from the bottom. The thickness of them are, without a doubt, of a higher quality. You can just see it. You can just see it. You can measure it. 1.28, 1.37. Now we go to the next row. So the return row is riddled with little cat hairs. So the cat in our house is a bit of a nemesis of mine. Although I fed it and kept it when it first got to us, when it was a little kitten, it has developed into a nemesis. And so we're not friendly with each other. We just tolerate each other at this point. I let it out of the house through the balcony in the back when it wants it. And in return, it doesn't do as much hissing at me, spitting at me and stuff, which is what it used to do. So after spending weeks racing as a kitten, when you hear it spitting and hissing at you, it kind of pisses you off. That it shows this lack of appreciation, kind of almost an inhumane, like a demonish behavior. So never liked that cat since then. But at the same time, my wife likes it so much that you can't get rid of it. But so I think whenever I'm not visibly present, that cat dances on my keyboard to kind of pwn me. It's this way of pwning. It likes to pwn because of the devilry of it. I think that's what's going on. Gotta wipe them all down. I'm gonna measure it. Cap locks at the back, 10.03. At the front, 11.16. Slight rise. 10.5, 10.4. A slight fall. 10.17, 11.43. It rises. Whereas here, 10.6, 10.6. Are they even? 10.4. Yeah, maybe even here. 2.6, 2.9. Again, quite a bit thicker. The MT3 is visibly thicker. So based on that, I would still say that you're looking at a superior set of keycaps in the MT3s in terms of quality. If you were to equate quality with thickness, you wouldn't equate quality with thinness, less material and all that. Not how most people would equate quality when it comes to keycaps. Thin and less substantial would not equate to quality. Going to describe keycaps, you would want them thick, heavy, substantial. Although, by definition, there wouldn't be an absolute rule on that. You wouldn't say, oh, just because that's the only reason why something is better. Something could be better by material cost too. So, and yet, in the quality of the material also, there is the sense that these MT3s defeat these day SA profile ones when it comes to the quality of the material also. They get to charge so much extra and they get away with it. And a number of people buy it, like me. They buy it for that reputation of being higher quality, and as it turns out, that reputation is correct in terms of this immediate assessment as compared to these not super cheap, let's say, keycap sets from China. I mean, I'm sure they're all from China, actually. So being from China isn't the differentiating bit, because I'm sure they're both from China. Manufacturing in general no longer occurs in the US for the most part, except for just a very few things. Usually niche products taken up by autistic individual like Chris Reeve and his knives or whatever, certain tools. And then those things that are made in this country are not always or necessarily of the highest quality, like certain appliances or whatever, compared to China or Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea, of the highest quality in this country, mainly because demographically, who makes or who signs up to work in a factory in this country? It's usually recently immigrated illegals, Hispanics. A lot of the ghetto denizens are on welfare, so they don't work in factories, but illegals often might work in factories. And we're not supposed to call them illegals, but that is Marxist thought patrol, speech control. And so you should go out of your way to use the term illegals when they tell you don't use the term illegal. You should redouble your efforts to use that term just because they told you that not to use it. You can't not kowtow to thought control, speech control in the way of North Korea, in the way that North Korea would do that. When you acquiesce, you give them power and control. That is the lesson of North Korea, as a North Korean. So you call them illegals every time, because that is what they are. They're in the country illegally, when they could have gotten in line and applied for process normally. Now, maybe they came in illegally because they knew that if they applied, they wouldn't be accepted. Perhaps that's true, but not everyone has the right to live in every other country in the world, despite proximity. That's enough of that kind of talk. So, the shift key is small. A shortened shift key of 32.65. So I need to find a 32.65 shift key. So we have a variety of shift keys, and I believe this one should do it. Yeah, so again, quite a different profile. This one, let's go to 0, still zeroed. 12.79 at the back, 12.12 at the back, 9.69 at the front, 9.7 at the front. Less lofty back, higher front. So again, it's different. So perhaps not necessarily inferior, but it's different. The keys are different. They certainly are profiled, sculpted. Sculpted profile. These SA Day keycaps. Can't deny that they have a sculpted profile. So being a sculpted profile is extra money, because that means that there was a man somewhere along the line who did measurements, calculating, and inputtings into some machine, like some kind of machine, fusion or CAD machine of some type, sculpted these out. So that is what you're paying for. That is what you pay for that type of, there's just tons of little hairs. The final alpha row going in. And so these new SA Day keycaps are pleasingly rising up high at this level. So for the MT3, Matt3o's MT3 dasher setup, it was indeed rising up to an alarmingly high height by this point. Okay, now we're at the final row of modifiers. And the MT3, I don't quite recall if it was as high at the back as it is at the top. Yeah, that key was actually had gummy shit on it. Who knows what that was? Probably food, old sauce or something. I have to do some wiping on that one. Or not. Just pop it right off. Easy. So these space bars tend to corruptly charge way extra for these space bars for no conceivable reason. And these space bars are quite heavy usually. 8.9 grams. They've gotten filthy. 11.3 at the back and 10.3 at the front. There's all kinds of little hairs and bits here. I think I've got most of it blown out. In the process of changing out these keys, keycaps, as you can see, I've cleaned my keyboard too. Now the problem, I might have forgotten key order. I suspect these are equivalent. Let's check it again. That was 8.9 tear, 8.6 grams. It was wet the first time. 8 grams. So definitely lighter. The widths on these are much thinner. 1.06 in the center, 1.27, 1.23, 1.17. Very non-uniform. Whereas here, 2.08, 1.89, 1.86, 2.07, 1.86, 2.07, 1.06. So none of these approach 2, 1.45. So quite a bit thinner. So the thickness is where it loses. For the height, the back 12.77, right? No, 9.24, 11.88, 9.86, 9.53. So this goes this way. It goes like that. It grabs at 3 places here. Alt, Control, Alt, Function, and Control. For the code button, let's see if they have a Windows. I don't think they do. It would have been nice if it was a Windows key, but alas, it is not to be. Yeah, so this key set gives you a variety of keys, but all in kind of a lame variety. Like I like those ones that have the Windows logo instead of the what says code or command on it. This is what we get on this set. That's the wrong set. So I will have to use a different alt set. These don't fit. These must be of this size. I do have it for control. For alt. No, I do have it for the alt as well. So again, this set does have the full panoply of key sets, which is absolutely necessary for this Keychron Q5. I will need to box. Way in the attic, I'll know what it is. The next step, plug it in, punch a hole in the ergonomic areas. What I'll do is burn a hole with prominence on JF up, JF and up. So by doing that, I have created an ergonomic keyboard because I can. I want to do it on 5 as well, don't I? Yeah, I don't think I need to do it up there. That will be that. I can close my eyes and I can feel around for F and J. It's right there. That's 5. I can feel it, and that's the up arrow. That's enough braille spots, braille marks for me to function. So, one thing I noticed is there's more slippage because this row is lower. So I may have to get used to it, but there's a bit more slippage on this key set. There's the profile. It scoops in and the bottom row collapses, and then there's more of a differentiation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two rows are approximately the same. So I'll just have to get used to it. It's not horrible. It's not a ringing endorsement. Say it's not horrible, but it's not something that I'm willing to continue to try. So I'm not gonna just switch them back for right now, but this is what it looks like. It's more of a glowy look to it. Carolina blue, Duke blue, and I like how the interior coloring inside the keycaps are Carolina blue also, so instead of white. Because the dasher set, I believe they were white. Your top row. I also got this Shark Attack TPU coated keyboard cable. It doesn't have to be keyboard cable, but you can use it for that. With the aviator connector right there. That allows me to switch out to other tips if I need to. It's got this coiled extension for keeping the extensible area, so that when I pull it toward me, it gives you that additional extension like the old-timey telephone rings, but at the same time it keeps it neat and interesting looking at the back. And this set particularly has LEDs right there. RGB LED, that kind of rainbow switches, kind of like this keyboard. So, and I thought that the orange creates a good contrast with the bluishness of my keycap sets that I prefer. But overall, for $51, I would say this keycap set is worth bother. It makes my keyboard desktop immediately different looking. It's an immediate different look to it and gives me interest. That is my new keycap changeout for my Keychron. I believe this was the Q5 keyboard. FD aluminum block with gasketing, dial mode for volume, assigned to volume now. And at least a 5-row sculpted SA profile ABS day keycaps. $51, tax and ship from Amazon. And I'll sign off for now.